run Rooster off leash. This is the first time we've ever done it. I've got my speaker box paired so you can see the work that I do. Dogs know when they're off leash, so this could become a little ugly at first. You might see some e-collar resistance. I might have to even correct him on the e-collar. Really, it's just, you know, he's smart enough to know, oh, well, and the leash is off, so I'm not going to listen anymore. In fact, it's been kind of hard with the leash on to get him to even do things that I need to work on with him, because he knows when the leash is on, he's supposed to stay close to me, right? So now that the leash is off, he's really going to test his limits, and I have to be willing to go up as high on the e-collar as I need to get him to comply. So we're going to start on his number 3. Let's go. Good job. So he's on a 5 right now. Let's go. Go. Good job, Rooster. Play. Good. So, right now, you're just hearing a lot of tap and turns, right? Let's go, tap on the e-collar. Let's go, tap. I'm layering all my commands over the e-collar stimulation. They actually turn on and off at the same, or I'm sorry, they turn on at the same time. So when I say let's go, the e-collar turns on at the same time. When I say place, same thing. Anytime I give a command, my e-collar, place. Place. So that was a 22 on the e-collar, right? Here's a 3 when he has the line on. That was a 22. And you can see the circling that he did. That was him trying to get out of it. That was him trying to turn off the e-collar pressure without having to comply. And then he broke place, so he could go sniff another place board, because he likes to smell of dogs, and my backyard stinks. So what I did there is the moment he broke, the e-collar turned on. I did not turn it off until he got back on place, if you noticed. And I actually just went up on my collar. So you're gonna probably look like this, because I can do it one-handed. If you can get to the point where you're one-handed, that'd be awesome. If not, you're gonna be doing a lot of this. And you know, I'm not in any hurry, so I wasn't frantic. I wasn't worked up, I wasn't upset with him. I have a fenced yard. He can't go anywhere. I'm just gonna sit there and go up one at a time to give him a fair chance to understand the e-collar without shocking him, right? So I went up one at a time, and until it got to a high enough number where he realized he didn't really have a way out and he needed to follow through. So this is what you're going to be doing. Now when he comes home, you're probably going to need the line on him, because he's probably going to be wild on your property. That's how he remembers your property. But wild or not, even with the line on, the e-collar is the same. So if you say come and Rooster starts doing these wide berth circles to try to blow you off, you need to be holding the e-collar down until you see him squaring off with you and heading in your direction. Quiet. Rooster has spent his life with you blowing off recall intentionally. So to him, especially when the line is off, I get this kind of feeling of, yeah, I'm free. Good luck, man. But that's what the e-collar is supposed to prevent. high level sense of independence since he's been in this world. So, what, you know, most cattle dogs just want to kind of follow me around just because they usually have a really high pack drive that overrides the prey. I think that his prey drive naturally overrides his pack drive. I think that's who he is. So he doesn't have the tendency of staying close right now, at least at this age and this level of training, to actually want to hang out with me over everything else. He would rather go and explore. Well, with this work, with the e-collar and the long line work, he is exploring, but he's learning how to listen while he explores. So, sorry about it, I didn't mean to hit that. So this is where you see that busyness, that kind of like, yeah, I'm saying let's go, and he's kind of heading in my direction, but really he's not. He's just going my way, but he's very much doing his own thing, which is okay because the let's go command is casual, but at a certain point, he wide berths me so much when I say let's go that I just end up saying, Rooster, come, and bringing him into my personal space and having him sit, because the let's go just kind of seems to rev up this independence that I'm talking about, and I'm trying to build up this pack drive more. So I'm telling you this because, one, I think it's important to know your dog's nature, but two, the way to kind of build up that pack drive and that commitment to the handler might be through more Rooster come versus let's go, just because the let's go really makes it's not a very formal command to begin with. I'm not asking him to stay in a here position, so he's going to have more of a tendency to kind of so I still want you to do those things with him because he still needs to go out and explore a bit, but you're going to be quick about trying to move him. And then if that movement seems to get him more wild or more independent, then that's where the recall kicks in. Let's go. Let's see if I can keep him in a here. To go straight to my boost very much, and that might be different for you guys. Dogs' e-collar numbers are different for every handler. Even between the three of you, you guys will probably get different numbers out of Rooster. The higher the number, the more defiant they're being. So typically the family member who has allowed the dog to get away with the most tends to have to go up the highest on the e-collar because the dog is more willing to test the boundaries with that person, if that makes any sense. So when he's on a long line, I don't like to use my boost very much because he's super sensitive and dramatic. I like to go up one number at a time when he's on the long line because typically I only have to go from like a 3 to a 6, and the boost goes from a 3 to an 8 when I hit the boost. It's a +5. So he gets all like head twitchy and dramatic about it. Well, what I've noticed off leash already in just this short video is that if I go up one at a time, he seems to be withstanding more pressure. It's almost like it gives him just a couple of seconds to go, ooh, I feel that number, but it's not that strong. I think I can withstand a little bit more. And as I go up one number at a time, I kind of getting the feeling that I'm actually building a kind of a resistance to the stimulation. So just there, when he tried to blow me off and through these play sports just a second ago, I just went ahead and I went up a couple numbers, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go straight to my boost, and that seemed to actually boost. It was almost like it boosted him over to me. And sometimes that can happen with dogs where they need like a strong contrast, where it goes from like a a real low level where they're like, yeah, I'm tolerant of this, I can withstand this, to like, ooh, that was a big jump, I better listen. So this is something that you can play with when he's on leash and see how he is. If he's like, if it's too high, you know, like he springs up into the air all dramatic like, it might have been too much of a contrast in numbers. But off leash, from what I'm gathering with off leash, is you almost need to make that jump when he really decides to blow you off, right? So if it's very obvious, like in through here, he knows all the freaking commands, you guys. He's a border collie, he's smart as a whip. He just doesn't want to listen. And he's learned when he's off leash, he doesn't. So in through these place boards, I could even see him looking at me while he's sniffing the place board, like, I'm not coming to you. And so I just went right to the boost, and it was like, instead of playing with that gradual increase in numbers, he just came right over to me. So I'm going to try it a few more times in the yard today to see if that helps, because that might be what you're going to have to remember to do with him when you guys start to transfer him over to off leash. Huh? Here? Good? So when I like him to go and be free, I'll say, go ahead. So I've got like a go ahead and a go potty, you know, I can interchange them and they both represent the same thing, but it's basically telling Rooster that he's not in a command. Go ahead. You're free. Because what I really want to do is get him caught on a scent so I can practice recalling him. Rooster, come. Good. So, I used the boost both times. You know, I gave him a chance to recall, and it was like, I'm going to be real slow. And then when I gave him the boost, that's when he scurried over to me. And then I tried to put him in a here position, and he tried blowing me off. When I hit the boost, he went right into it. Neither seemed too high on the e-collar. None of them seemed corrective or uncomfortable for the dog. So I feel like this is a good form of information for you guys moving forward. Is when he's off leash and he's not listening, you really almost have to go up 5 or 10 at a time to create that contrast in numbers that go high enough so he doesn't start to learn to withstand the pressure. Come. So, right there, you couldn't see it, but you probably heard the e-collar turn off and then it turned back on. It's because Rooster was coming this way, and then when the e-collar turned off, he's like, sweet, the pressure's off. I'm gonna go do what I want to get. So I turned the e-collar back on, and that lined him back up with me. So you couldn't see it probably from the angle that you have, but that's why the e-collar turned on and then off. So all of that out there was between a 15 and a 17 on the e-collar. So it kind of gives me an idea of where he's at with his off-leash numbers. You know, he's a 2 or a 3 on the long line, and then usually I only have to go up to a 6. So it kind of tells me that when he's off leash, it gives him this big sense of independence and freedom that he feels like he doesn't need to listen to his handler. That's a pretty big increase in numbers for a dog whose numbers are so low with the line on. Hey bud, quit itching. Please. You know, he's got that sore on his neck right now, which I'll show you guys tomorrow. So I'm really trying to smack down on the, don't itch your neck, dude. You're just gonna make it worse. So your numbers are probably going to be higher than mine all around. I would imagine. I bet everyone in the family's going to be operating on a number that's much higher than mine, whether he's off leash or on leash. So, in terms of numbers, that was dramatic. That was a 5 to a 6. The 5 wasn't working. The 6 made him go. I know we've already talked about this in probably a couple videos too, but I want to tell you that the other day he was on a 0. I didn't know he was on a 0. I hit the button and he started shaking his head like it was too high. And I looked down on the e-collar and I said, "You stinker, the e-collar's not even on right now and you're acting like it's too high." So I want you guys to understand that, and you might see it yourself. You might notice that sometimes you give him a command and he automatically flicks his neck. I have seen this in several more intelligent breeds, and they're, I think they're trying to play you. I think that they're trying to make sure that stimulation doesn't turn on. That's so effective in making them follow through with their commands. And I have had dogs in the past who have gotten so ridiculous about this, and it's made the owner not want to use the e-collar. Come to find out, the dog does it on a 0 as well as a 2. So it's playing. The dog was actually playing the owner and trying to get them to stop using the e-collar stimulation. So don't let this guy do that to you. If you're going up and you're giving him, if you're blasting it and all of a sudden it jumps 20 points and he yelps, that should only be used in oh shit moments, right? That should be only a safety e-collar usage. If it's just in the context of what I'm doing in this safe yard, I didn't give him a fair enough chance to go up on my e-collar, and so that would have been an unfair situation, right? But if you know you're being fair and you're giving him lots of opportunity to come and going up gradually on your e-collar, then him trying to blow it off and shake it off and itch it off is him just trying to manipulate the situation. So we need to make sure that we follow through no matter what in that particular scenario. And then the oh shit moments are those moments where, oh my god, he got out of the yard, he's taking off. Oh my god, he's chasing after a cat. Oh my god, I didn't want him to run after that dog. And they're in a full sprint. That's the only situation in which I will actually correct the dog. It's about 1% of scenarios, probably less than 1% of scenarios that happen when I'm working with the dog outside of a fenced area off leash. But I like to call them oh shit moments. So most of your e-collar usage should be from very mild, non-annoying stages of e-collar work to mild annoyance. That's what you're going to be, that's the realm you're mostly going to be working in. If it becomes extremely annoying, it's probably because he wants something so bad that you had to make it a little bit uncomfortable, which will be very minimal portion of the training. And then the oh shit moments, which is going to be that actual shock, that actual correction, which we only need to be using in those moments where we're like, holy crap, I need to go up fast. I need to go up fast now because he's putting himself or someone else in a safety risk, and that's a situation where I will just and get him. Good. Good job, buddy. I can get a better angle to show you what I want the head to look like when I recall him. Rooster, come. Nice. Good. Place. Place. So that was a boost. So now that I've discovered that the boost is really that kind of, okay, no, do it, seal the deal type button. Now I'm very quickly implementing it into the little blow-offs that he gives me, right? So it's like, all right, I gave you a chance on a 4. Oh, you broke place 9, boost. Just like that. Because boost is always a +5 of whatever number's on your screen. Place. So that gives you kind of an idea of, oh, he's blowing me off. I'm just going to go to my red button, which I got to show you. I'll show you right now. That black S, that black button right there is the number on the screen, which is a 4 right now. The red S is a boost, which is a +5. A +5 of whatever number's on the screen. So a 4 is a 9, a 5 is a 10, 6 is 11, and so on and so forth. So when his head, if I'm Rooster and I say, if I give him the command to come, and he does this, you're the handler, right? So the camera lens is the handler, and his head is doing this, and he's doing a wide circle. He's not coming your way. He's not. I've worked with this dog enough. He's a big time circler. It's a cattle dog thing. And he's basically saying, I feel the pressure, but I will not be committing to you. I promise you that. So what I do is I go up higher, and what I want to see the head do, I want to see the head go, and then I'll let go of the e-collar pressure, right? So I really have been holding the e-collar pressure on until I see his head line up. Especially this guy, because I already have worked with him enough to know that that wide burst circle with the head avoiding and disengaging is his way of saying, I will not be coming to you. So I want to see that head line up. So that head lines up, and then sometimes he goes, ooh, there's a smell. When that happens, the e-collar is going to turn back on until I see him line up again. So the e-collar is, basically an electronic leash that's going to continuously line him up with you as often as he needs to be lined up. We're going to do one more series of reps and one more series of explanations, and then we're going to wrap this video up. Let's go. Good job, Rooster. Don't jump on me. Job. You're a good boy. Don't itch. Don't itch. Okay. All right. So the last thing I want to talk about before I wrap this video up is we like to refer to the e-collar as the barometer for the brain. So what I mean by that is I can actually tell how much adrenaline is in a dog's system, how excited they are, how much different forms of stimulation mean to them based on their e-collar numbers. So if I'm inside the house and nothing is going on, he's a 2. It's very low. If I'm in my field and there's lots of smells, I'm going up more to like an 8 or a 9, right? So obviously he's not going to have the same level of sensation in his feelings when he's inside where it's quiet and the wind isn't blowing and there's not a lot of stimulation versus a field where there's tons of smells, tons of sights, tons of things to get worked up about. Quiet. being said, I can use the e-collar as a gauge or a barometer for my training and my improvement, right? If the numbers start to continuously increase when Rooster goes home, he's being overstimulated, he's not getting enough sleep, and he's probably not in pack drive enough. Maybe he's being allowed to be in prey drive way too much. That'll increase the numbers because the adrenaline's going to start moving through the system more regularly, and then that bitch mode where they're going to start blowing you off is going to increase because prey drive makes them more independent and makes them less capable of listening. So, if I'm working in the field and he's a 6, and then there's nothing going on, and he's a 6, and he's been continuously a 6, and then all of a sudden someone walks by with a dog, I'm probably not going to stay at a 6, because now we're adding stimulation to the picture. So you can almost guarantee that your numbers are going to go up when you go somewhere new, when you go somewhere that has more smells than say pavement. Pavement doesn't have a lot of smells, grass does. It's going to go up when he sees a dog or any other form of stimulation that would normally get him very worked up. When he came to my house, everything got him worked up. It still kind of does, but it's mild now. So it didn't matter what it was if it wasn't still. Come. I'm calling him off this because he's fixating on something. Let's go. Come. Sit. Let's go. Buddy. Good choice, dude. So my guess when he goes home, it'll be people, cats, birds, dogs, cars, bicycles, basically anything that creates movement or is alive. He gets pretty worked up about it. Where the e-collar will, if you go take your time and you go up slowly on your e-collar, what your e-collar will let you know is just how worked up is he about it. So most stimulations are mild to moderate for him, right? So we go up maybe 2, 3, 4 points or 2, 3, 4 numbers at a time when he sees certain things because he's worked up, but he's not like, whoa, like that. But dogs, that's what he goes up higher, the highest over. So if you start to calculate, oh my gosh, every time he's around a duck, which I don't even know if that's possible in your neighborhood, but every time he sees a cat, that's probably more realistic. Come. So I'm still working him through some stuff because he's starting to fixate different locations. Hey. And again, I don't want him to think of his place board as a guarding post. So if I see him starting to lock onto things like that, which he's not really locked, he's kind of looking around right now. But if I see him really lock onto something, I need to call him off of it. Stop. That was a 6. If you see a cat and you take the time, instead of panicking, you take the time to recall him off the cat and you go to the end of your line and you're just going up one number at a time, beep, 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 and just really trying to find that number, and you figure out, would you stop? Quit. Don't like equipment on him. Leave it. And that cat is a 12. You notice that you have to go to a 12 to get his attention. You're probably more than likely going to have to go to a 12 the next time you see a cat, or at least in that number range. Come. Rooster, quit. Come. existed. So you're probably going to be more likely to have to go up to that 12 again the next time you see a cat. And maybe it'll be a little higher, maybe it'll be a little lower, but I can tell you it's going to be in that range. So you can start using different forms of stimulation to start kind of, you know, using a mental note, a mental tab to say, oh, the last time we were in this situation, I went to a 12 versus going up one at a time. At first you need to go up one at a time until you find your number range. So if a cat's a 12, a bird's a 6, and a dog is a 22, you have a nice barometer of what you need, what number range you need to consider going up to when you enter these certain scenarios where he gets very stimulated by whatever trigger is presenting itself, right? So this is what I love about the e-collar, because it gives you an idea of their intensity, and it gives you a number range that, if you can keep a mental log, will kind of tell you how far you need to go with this guy when you are in that particular situation. Now, where it really benefits the training and understanding progress of the dog is when those numbers start to lower. So let's say he sees a dog, and instead of having to go up to a 22, I now can get him on a 9. Then what I'm going to start to understand is that he is lowering his intensity about the sight of a dog. At first, that's not going to be the case. You're going to have a long time before you're going to be able to work him to lower numbers. But in terms of you guys gauging your progress with him, or you guys trying to see what kind of progress he's giving you, your numbers are going to start to lower in all these different scenarios. So that's why we call it the barometer for the brain. If you're doing it right, your numbers should be lowering. Now, when you first come home, you're going to suck at the e-collar. Everyone does. So you need to give yourself 3 to 5 days to get used to it. He's going to know what he's supposed to do, but you're not going to be very good or smooth at operating this device. So give yourself a chunk of time before you can catch up to where he is in training, because you guys have some catching up to do. So don't throw in the towel, don't throw in the e-collar, just stick with it. Give yourself that period of time to really focus on your e-collar and how to use the dial and the boost to really change your numbers based on what he needs in that particular moment. Don't feel rushed. We don't need to get it to be automatic. We just need to get it to where it's working and where he's complying. So if you're going to take a couple minutes to really focus on slowly going up on that dial, that is better than just cranking it up 30 points and shocking him every time just because you want to hurry, right? So take your time, go slow, learn the e-collar, learn the dial, learn the numbers, pay attention to Rooster and his level of compliance and what number's working, because if you guys can actually take the time to do that, which I do believe that you will, you're going to have a dog who's extremely reliable on extremely low numbers on an e-collar, where we're not having to punch them in the face every time they make a decision that goes against what we're looking for in that moment. So hopefully that was helpful. I know I've sent you guys a lot of videos. I see you tomorrow. I imagine that you guys have a lot of catching up to do between the reading and all the videos, so I apologize, but at the same time, I do feel like all this information is extremely important for you guys, and that I won't be able to see you for a month after we meet tomorrow. So I need to give you as much as you can so that you can have these references to go back to and relearn about after Rooster goes home. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.